Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Lauren Kent. On this channel, I talk about all things fashion, motherhood, and entrepreneurship. Mostly fashion though, so if that sounds like your thing, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Before we get into this video, I did want to, I don't know what I was gonna say. This one, I have a feeling, is going to be a long one. We're getting into a Q&A of questions that you guys have asked me. So either on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of it, you guys have these questions. I did touch on some of them in my Get to Know Me Q&A. That was my very first video. But I figured I'd take either a deeper dive or explore kind of a different angle of the topic. So get ready. Like I said, grab that cup of tea, whatever snack you need, honey, and chill out. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna be looking at my phone so that I'm able to remember what the questions are. So yeah, let's see. All right, so first question is there anything that you look back on and know that you would handle differently now? So initially, when I heard this question, I was like, yeah, of course, I have things that I either regret or I would have done differently. But let me start this by saying that I try not to live in regret. I think that every one of our experiences in life have taught us something, and everything happens for a reason. So with that being said, the number one thing for me would be, I don't know if this is really like answering the question, but I would have done this differently, is when I went to Florida A&M University. And so if I were to backtrack, let me just give you a little bit of backstory. I went to one of the top high schools in, really in the state, almost in the current country. And I was an anomaly for not knowing where I was gonna go to school when we graduated. Picture everybody walking around the hallways with their college shirts on. We had college day, and I still had no clue where I was going. And so after high school, I went on to become a bank teller, and I did that for 4 years. Got kind of stuck in it. I enjoyed it. It didn't really push me much. I didn't really allow myself to be pushed in that position. I'm sure I could have gone higher. But it was something to do. I was making money while everybody else was in school. So to me, it was like, yes, like it was desirable, right? Like I was making money. I was able to buy myself things. It's when I got my first credit card. But I wasn't happy. And so, like I said, I did that for 4 years, but had this nagging feeling of like, I need to go to school. So I took a leap and I applied to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida. It's an historically Black college or Black university. And I got accepted at the age of 22, you guys. So completely non-traditional. Wanted to stay in a dorm, which is insane, but I did. I wanted the full college experience. And so I did that. I went down there, but I did not have a plan. And so because I didn't have a financial plan, I found myself back at home in December. And that was heartbreaking for me, but it also lit a fire under me that had not been there before. So the way that I would have handled that differently is obviously I would have had a plan. I would not have just jumped. I think the thing was I got into the school and I was so excited about that I didn't really care. I didn't care about like the step-by-step, the logistics, the plan, the after. I cared about the fact that I was gonna go to school. And in the South at that, right? My battery is going to die. So we're going to go until it dies. But I cared about the fact that I was going to be in school, right? So yeah, I totally would have done that differently. I would have planned it out. I would have made sure I had some type of loan so that I could stay longer. So yeah, that's it. Great question. So next question is, how do you manage to be a mother, wife, career woman all at the same time and continue to look so fabulous? So again, I answered this question in a kind of in my Get to Know Me video, but you guys, this is, I don't know. I mean, I think it's all about your mindset, right? So I was always taught by my mother that you never forget who you are. So never forget who Lauren is at the root of everything. When you go through life and you gain these titles of mother, of wife, of so many things, you tend to lose yourself, right? And my mom was really big on no, like she'd always ask me, like, Lauren, who are you? Lauren, what are you interested in? What makes you you? And that was always a driving force for me in how I move through life and through my new titles. And so with that being said, I never allowed like being a mom or being in a career or whatever it is to stop me from caring about the things I cared about. And that is looking fabulous. Okay, so it may seem like a very superficial thing, but I realized a while ago that the way that I look translates to the way that I feel internally. And so trust me, I tried it where I've been like, I don't really care. Like I can look like whatever. Going to the store, I didn't care. But when I started to have a brand and to think of myself as like, I don't know, this entity, this brand, I guess, I realized that the way that I carry myself means everything. And a first impression is a lasting impression. So what do I want people to think when they see me? You know, do I want them to think, ooh, she looks so frazzled, like she never has it together? What's the deal? Or do I want them to think, oh, look at her. She takes the time to like pour into herself. Like she takes time out for self-care. She looks well put together. And again, it's not about what other people think about you, but those things do matter in a sense, especially when it comes to connections or, like I said, later down the line, people never forget. All right, you guys. So this is true pivoting. My camera battery like died out, so I'm filming on my phone. So excuse me if it's not the same quality. Well, I know it's not the same quality, but okay, we're gonna get it in. So I was talking about staying fabulous, all while balancing the many titles that I have. And like I was just saying, to wrap it up, like just don't lose who you are. And I think if you hold on to who you are and like what matters most to you, it won't be so hard. You know, you'll learn to prioritize those things that matter to you. And so balancing them will become a little bit easier. So yeah, thank you for that question. All right, and then it also says, I have my little notes here. It also says, someone asked for tips on self-care routines. So again, this comes with not forgetting who I am and not getting lost as a mother and a wife, especially. I have made it so that I schedule in time for myself. So whether that is being at home and it's after the kids go to bed and I'm able to lay down on the couch and like light a candle and watch a show that I want to watch by myself, that is self-care to me. I won't say a lot of times we think, well, you might think that self-care needs to cost money, or it entails leaving the house, or it entails taking out a huge chunk of time. Self-care can look like so many things. But as far as what I do, it's definitely, like I said, after the kids go to bed, which is around 8:30, I lay on the couch and I light a candle and watch something on Netflix usually. And so that to me is restorative. That is my way of kind of like pouring into myself at the end of the day, because I'm exhausted, right? And I deserve that time to just completely unplug. I try to limit checking my phone. I try to limit, like I said, being plugged in and thinking about other things. This is just for my mind to be free. And so that's one way that I indulge in self-care. Another way is definitely solo dates. And so, I know it's getting harder with the pandemic, and so you feel like you can't really go anywhere, but depending on your comfort level, the way that I indulge in self-care, like right now, after I finish filming this video, I'm gonna go make a run to Target. And for me, Target and Ulta too, Target and Ulta, like just shopping and like being without the kids is everything for me. I don't mind taking them, but like going on my own and like being able to just like peruse the aisles and not have to worry about anyone else just feels so good to me, and that's what I love to do. Um Another thing is, before the pandemic, it was solo dates. So it's me like taking myself out. I might go see a movie, or I might go get lunch by myself. And you can still do that during the pandemic. You can get your order to go. If they have a really cute patio, sit on the patio, weather permitting. It's just finding ways to just connect with yourself and do something like that's mindless. I don't know, some other people might think of self-care as like doing something they enjoy, but for me, it's really at the root of it all. It's doing something that's mindless and I don't have to think about too much. I'm not stressing myself out, because then it's not self-care. So yeah, those are my ways of indulging in self-care. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Again, before the pandemic, travel was definitely that way of self-care for me, but I know that's like a major step. But it was me like planning a trip every year, like no matter what, I was going somewhere, and that was definitely self-care for me. And I'd go by myself, so that's major key. Go by yourself, you guys. Connect with yourself. Good question. And that leads me into travel. So someone said that they can tell I love to travel. I absolutely do. My love for travel really was sparked for when I was 14 and I went to Paris. I talked about this. And it was my 8th grade trip, because I took French for 9 years, and so it was our like culmination of our studies and everything. And so we went over to France, and I promised myself that I would get back there, and I did. And I just like, through studying abroad, as when I was older, I was 28, it kind of opened my eyes up to how beautiful it is to travel and to see other cultures and to see how other people live and to see different traditions and customs and things like that. It just lets you know that the world is so much bigger than you, right? And so much bigger than your family, so much bigger than your city, and so on and so forth. And it just I don't know, I feel like it enhances you as a person. So travel is really near and dear to my heart. Like I said, every year I try to do something. I am actually going to Vegas in a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks. And every time I travel, I challenge myself to explore the city in a way that a local would. So me exploring as a tourist just doesn't do it for me. Like, I might indulge in that. I might go see the happening things and what you have to see in a city. But for the most part, I'm going to explore like a local. And that entails me talking to locals. To find out like, hey, what's that spot? And they usually give you things that you're not going to find from a Google search or a blog post. It's going to be something that you only know if you live there. And so that's the way that I like to travel. And I travel on a budget, you guys. Travel does not need to be expensive at all. The way that I love to do it is, when I come upon extra funds, I always go check. Southwest is my airline of choice, and so I go ahead and check Southwest and see like where I can go for pretty low. And I usually book that ticket way in advance, months in advance. It could be cold and I'm not going until the summertime. But that's my way of, if I'm working on a budget, I have the money right now, I can pay for it right now, and I don't have to worry about it later. I also like to do Airbnbs. I feel like it gives me more of a bang for my buck, and if I'm going to go somewhere new, I want to be able to really wholly experience that place. And so to me, that's living in or staying in the style home of where I am. So like, for example, New Orleans, I want to stay in a shotgun home, I think they call it, where, you know, it's colorful, it's narrow, it's this, it's that. I want that experience, so I tend to stay in Airbnb. So there's that. Travel, you guys, your life will be so much better for it. I definitely would prioritize travel. Being a mom of 3. So what is it like being a mom of 3? I love this question. You know what? I don't really think about it too much. It's so funny. I don't know. I'm trying to think. So being a mom of 3, I am going to tie all of my answers back to staying rooted in who I am. So yes, I'm a mom of 3, but because I kind of like pour into myself all the time, I don't get bogged down by having my 3 boys. They are ages 9, 6, and 3 at the time, and so, or at the moment rather. And so I feel like they're pretty independent. I try to foster independence in my boys. Not saying that parents don't try to foster independence, but I'm really big on that. Like, I want you to know how to do things on your own. I am raising really like expressive boys, so like boys who can speak their minds, and I feel like that feeds into them being affirmed in who they are, and further feeds into being independent and being problem solvers. Now, don't get me wrong, all of my children are not problem solvers. My oldest, for example, is not. But I mean, and overall, they're really good boys. They're really good kids, and yeah. And so, like I said, I'm really good at like balancing like being a mom and being Lauren. And so it's not that bad for me. I love it. I spoke about this on my Instagram. About which transition was harder, and definitely the transition from having one child to two children is way harder, because all of a sudden you're having to divide your attention. I think when I went from 2 to 3, it was, I won't say it was a breeze, but it was easy. I had been here before. I had breastfed before, even though every experience is different, but I'd been down this road before. And so it's kind of like, okay, I've learned how to juggle. I've learned how to take my kids places. I've learned all those things. And yeah, so I don't know. Being a mom of 3 is amazing to me. I love it. I've always wanted at least 3 kids. If I could, I would have more. But yeah, so it's amazing. Ooh. Okay, so this one, how do you find time to be glam? So how do I find time to be glam? And you guys focus on me being fabulous and being glam and fly, and I love that, because that lets me know that I'm doing what I want to do. I want to look a certain way. And so for you guys to ask me those questions, it's working. And so that feels really good. How do I find time to be glam? Doing little things. I just make it, again, it's all about making it a priority. So I make it a priority to look pulled together. And, whether that is, I'm going to put on my necklaces. I love to add my necklaces. Or I might add something pretty in my hair, or I might put on a lip, or I keep my nails done. It's just, again, it's all about priority. It's all about what you deem as important. And for me, looking good and feeling good, those are priorities for me. They may not be for everyone. I know some women can feel really like just tired. Like, I'm tired. Like, how do you pull yourself together all the time? I make it a thing of importance. Even if you are staying at home during this pandemic, put on clothes, get dressed, make that a priority in your life. Oh. You guys, okay, so this is proven to be the hardest video to film ever, because now my phone storage was full, so I had to upgrade. But anyway, I'm not gonna harp on that. So I think I was telling you guys about just getting up, taking that time for yourself, getting dressed in the morning, even if you're not going anywhere, getting dressed, spritzing on some perfume, taking time for yourself to feel fabulous. So it'll do wonders. And then the last one that ties into this is, how do I stay glam on a budget? So budgeting is everything for me. I do not have a limitless amount of funds. I don't know many people who do, but me finding things for less is my bag. Like, that's my thing. I'm going to figure out how to get accessories for cheaper, get my lip products for cheaper, like all of it. But it's still gonna be quality, right? Like, my favorite place to go to is Five Below. And I don't know if you guys have Five Belows where you are, but basically it's a store where nothing is above $5, right? So I get my jewelry from there. These earrings are actually from there, I believe. And so the fact that they are $5 or less, sometimes $3, I can switch it out right? Like pretty frequently. I can switch it out. I can switch up my look. I can try so many different things. Surely I could invest and pay $100 and something for a pair of earrings, but like how far is that gonna go, right? If I can buy, and I know this sounds crazy, but for real, if I can pay $5 for 14 pairs of earrings that I can switch out depending on my mood, I'm gonna go for that. Also lips products. Like I found out a long time ago that Wet n Wild is the shit, basically. Like their products are super quality. Their lipsticks stay on as long as a $20 MAC lipstick does. You know what I'm saying? So, or I'm going to, you know, Target, H&M, like I could invest my coins in, like, again, $120 top, and I might do that every once in a while. But if I want to kind of build my wardrobe, I'm going to go to the less expensive places. I just am. So again, I'm going to a Target. I'm finding cute pieces. I'm finding things that are classic and things that I can rotate out and wear with different things in my wardrobe. And so I think that keeps things fresh. I wouldn't say it's necessarily glam, but to me, glam is just looking fabulous, like looking good. And however that like whatever that definition is, or however you think that reads for you, then that's how you have to embody it. So again, whether it is, so if we're talking makeup, like Sephora, definitely go and get the sample size products. Ulta, same thing. I'm gonna go to the little area, I think it's called like the Impulse, I don't know what it's called, like, but it's basically the section right by the register where the things are smaller. You can get the product at a smaller mini size, and that way you can try it out. I'm notorious for things like that. So yes. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it was certainly a challenge. I'm losing daylight already, but it was so much fun to film, and I loved your questions. Let me know down below if you want me to continue to do like Q&As where you can either get like advice or just learn more about me, right? Like, I don't know. These questions to me read more as like tips for people, but let me know again if you want it to be more like little facts about me, or you want me to do like a random facts video, whatever it is. But this was so much fun, and I thank you guys so much for always just being like super supportive and commenting on my videos and interacting with me. So yeah, make sure once again you have subscribed, liked, and commented on this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.